I started my journey with Toastmasters after my manager had recommended for me to join it to improve my communication skills so that I could possibly advance into management. Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and most welcome guests. Today I'd like to talk about my journey with Toastmasters and how it has inspired me. So I decided to recap my journey so far. Well, at first I didn't see how public speaking had anything to do with me to be able to advance in management. But after coming to a few meetings and watching some of the speakers and the evaluators, I became inspired, so I decided to join. After joining, I started fulfilling some of the roles like timer or grammarian, and was having fun doing it, but at the same time I was learning. And I became a lot more confident in myself. So now it came time for my first speech, the icebreaker. I started to think, what could I say about myself that would sound motivating and good about myself? You see, when I was young, I did not have a lot of self-confidence. And I was never any good at sports or doing things with my hands. But when I started doing collections, I became more confident. And the more confident I became, the more successful I became. So I built my speech around that, hence the title, Confidence versus Success. Now, when I did my second speech, after being a member for a few months, and not telling many people about my personal life too much, I thought I would speak about my wife, who had passed away a couple of years earlier, and what she had done for me over the years of us being together. While the story was sad in the end, it made me smile reflecting on our lives together as I was putting the speech together. Like how we met online, and she was from small towns all her life, and I was from big cities. Even though we differed in a lot of ways we were also the same. She taught me the humorous side, to look at the humorous side of things with her wicked sense of humor that she had. Telling that story also showed me how strong she was, because I believe that when she got diagnosed with cancer, she knew she was going to die, but she never showed it to me. She always smiled. So in my third speech, being a collector and knowing what happens if you don't pay your bills on time, I was able to inform you of the dangers of not protecting your credit. It always amazes me that a lot of people are very naive about the subject, and I hope I inspired some of you to respect your credit. The fourth speech, I decided to talk about smoking and my addiction to it. I talked about how dirty and nasty it was, and I asked myself, why do I do it? While it didn't inspire me enough to totally quit smoking, since I have done that speech, every time I light up a cigarette right now, I feel guilty. And I am trying again, as I have put myself back on Champex and trying to use my electronic cigarette again. Now, my fifth speech was about my growing years, the 70s, a time when I was struggling with puberty and peer pressure. See, I was very tiny, and I only weighed about 100 pounds soaking wet. I wore glasses a time when it wasn't cool to wear glasses. And I had short hair when long hair was in, as my parents wouldn't allow me to have long hair, as they felt that men didn't have long hair. So when I was doing this speech about the 70s, it made me start to feel that the 70s was actually a really cool era. And I was so proud to be a part of it. So now came my sixth speech, vocal variety. I hope I inspired a few of you about your telephone manners, as I showed you in a humorous way how I deal with some people and the rude way they answer their phone on a daily basis. I hope I taught you how important it is to keep your manners in mind when somebody calls you on the telephone, even if you don't wish to speak to them. Expo 67 was my next speech. That gave me the opportunity to learn what was actually going on in the world when I was just a little 7-year-old boy, and a chance to redo a project that I did in high school. Now with speech number 8, getting familiar with visual aids, gave me a chance to learn about PowerPoint, as I have never used it before. And it also gave me a chance to talk about payday loans and what they're all about and what they may cost you. I'm always surprised at the amount of people that actually do not know what a payday loan is. Now speech number 9 is when I was really started to know that Toastmasters was working for me, as I was able to persuade enough of my coworkers to become a part of the Toastmaster journey. And we built our own club, CM Toastmasters. I was really inspired with the help and support that I received from Hershaw and the support you guys have given me, and I appreciate that so much. Now, Toastmasters is not only about speeches, as you all know. It's also about leadership and support, and fulfilling roles like being a timer or a grammarian, and being a part of a team to fulfill a task. It's also about learning and having a lot of fun while doing it. Ralph Smedley, our founder, has said, "We learn best in moments of enjoyment." I have found that being a part of Toastmasters has made me a better person with more self-confidence, and it also has given me the opportunity to make great new friends and a better leader. Will it bring me into management in my workplace? Time will only tell. But if not, oh well, I'm not all that concerned, because I have a lot more journey to go with Toastmasters. Mr. Toastmaster.